Welcome, everybody. My name is Michael, and today we have another big company in the news. Nothing bad has happened yet, but Grayscale, GBTC Trust, is in the news for some negative comments, specifically regarding providing proof and their refusal to provide any proof of reserve. Meaning, a bank, if you walk in, you submit your money, they might lend it out. And after COVID, they had to have 0% reserves. They could have lent it all out. Well, being a trust, it works a little differently. You have to have that on the balance sheet. So looks like of their 633,000 Bitcoin, 317,000 Bitcoin was traced from 432 addresses, meaning there is still a pretty large hole from Grayscale. If Grayscale were to collapse, that'd be another multi-billion-dollar crypto corporation to suddenly go under. So this was very recent, over the past 16, 17 hours, their refusal. And right now, as with FTX, there's been a lot more news coming from Twitter and crypto experts with random usernames than actual journalists. Now, considering where GBTC is trading at, the difference between that and the spot right now looks like it's getting close to the level. So they've just a little bit over 50% actually holdings. That was traced, so maybe there's more still, but this is just what was traced preliminary. And with that said, the price of Bitcoin right now, it's around 16,072. So they're missing 316,000 Bitcoin, which with the current price looks close to $50,787,000 worth of Bitcoin. So $51 million worth of Bitcoin. And there's a pretty big discount that they're trading at. Grayscale has to hold these Bitcoin. They cannot sell the Bitcoin just from the way it has been deposited. So again, this hasn't been fully confirmed. Maybe it's just FUD to bring down the price, but it certainly is working, and it's also affecting other smaller corporations. And you compare it to somebody like Binance, where they have almost 600,000 Bitcoin in their reserves and growing. This is the largest amount out of all the exchanges right now. And with exchanges, it's a completely different policy, but it's good to see that because recently there's been a lot of exchanges that have been lending out. So people are wondering, is that same thing going on? Now, there's other people who might see this as an advantage to trade tomorrow once they open up and try and get as many as you can at the discount. So every GBTC represents a small fraction of the Bitcoin locked into the trust. It's locked. There's no way to withdraw the Bitcoin that's locked in there at all right now. What they're also doing is they're suing the SEC to be allowed to convert to an ETF. Now, that range, that time frame is still very further away. And for all we know, the SEC could say, nope, we do not care that Canada already has Bitcoin ETFs. You do not get to have a Bitcoin ETF. And there will not be a Bitcoin ETF, at least in the short term or maybe even long term in the US. Now, this is different than FTX because this is regulated. This is an American company. There is a 45 to 50% discount on GBTC, and Kathy Wood is purchasing some, and the market is reacting harshly. But this company is most likely not going to go under. Not to say that it can't, but just from right now, it is traditional finance. It is operating a little bit differently than FTX was or Luna. It's not like they can do really anything without zero accountability, zero regulatory oversight. Right now, every single time they move their assets, people are able to see exactly where those funds are going. And some of the trust funds are held actually by a third-party custodian, one of which is Coinbase, which Coinbase seems to be on the good side of everything right now. So with that said, right now, most likely Grayscale is going to be fine. Again, it is in a bad position in terms of the price, but so is most of the market. The market is also reacting to all of this and even a little bit of bad news, and suddenly people are freaking out. Now, to go on to another project very quickly, Solana, it seems like is being wiped out. So TVL has crashed to 280 million out of the top 10, lost 67% this month alone, and it was close to $1 billion at the start of the month. It's down 97% from the peak, and obviously this was one of those 100 companies that were affected by FTX. So it's been spectacular. And what's funny is with FTX, there was an update with the $500 million hack. Looks like that was the Bahamas regulator seizing assets. And it is just a big giant mess. And through this, people are curious. They don't want to get scammed again. They don't want to keep their money in exchanges. They're looking for what's the next exchange to go? What's the next trust to go? Grayscale operates differently. Not to say that it can't crash, but most likely just some after effects in the market. With that said, thanks for watching. You guys have a good rest of your day.